Hey everyone, it's JimClassic again, and you are watching Geekin. So, Ghostbusters. Well, starting, I think it's July 14th of this year, Ghostbusters 2016 will be in the theaters. And, well, we'll find out soon enough how well it will ultimately do. Because there's a great deal of controversy about Sony predicting that this movie is going to fail, to the fan rage, to misogyny, and, well, a few other things that put the success or failure of this movie up in the air. Okay? So we will find out within a few weeks, how well this will play out. From Sony cutting its own nose off to spite its face by deleting comments on their YouTube page about constructive criticism and blaming the bad publicity on misogyny, and also director Paul Feig basically name-calling and trolling the very audience which is supposed to go in there and give him money to see this movie, to James Rolfe, also the angry video game nerd, for his audacity to eloquently and calmly pointing out his reasons why he doesn't want to see the movie, to apologists and neutral parties just saying to give the movie a chance. This reboot is generating waves amongst friends and foes of this new movie. However, my main talking point today is probably about the one thing I was hoping I was going to like about Ghostbusters 2016, and that was going to be the theme song. In Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song is a classic. Everybody knows the Ghostbusters theme song, and it's just one of the many examples of why Ghostbusters will probably be classified as a timeless classic. In June 23rd of this year, Fall Out Boy released the new Ghostbusters 2016 theme song entitled I'm Not Afraid. And I have to say it's not one of their best work. I feel like Fall Out Boy just missed every single mark which could have made this song good. And I listened to this song about 10 times, over and over again. I listened to this song back to back, hoping that it would hook me, hoping that there'd be some part of this song which would be like, oh, okay, this brings it all together for me, and I like it. But it just didn't fit. It just didn't feel like Ghostbusters at all. And in any reboot, in any generation, in any imagined situation that I could try, that I came up with, I could not see this song fitting in any Ghostbusters franchise. And I was so disappointed. I like Fall Out Boy. I'm not a huge fan or anything, but I like some of their stuff, and I feel like that this theme song is another example of Sony dropping the ball on the new Ghostbusters franchise. But I just feel disappointed. That is my overall feeling of this song. It wasn't a good song on any level. What can I say? It's disappointing. Now, I'm not going to play the song here in the video. Let's not kid ourselves here. YouTube does have a guilty until proven innocent policy when it comes to fair use on copyrighted material. So there will be a link on the bottom directing you to Fall Out Boy's page, and I'll probably add one to Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters theme as well. If there's anyone out there who actually enjoyed Fall Out Boy's Ghostbusters 2016 theme song, just put a comment down in the comment section. I want to hear if you liked it or if you hated it. And, what are your reasons why? And let me digress for just a moment. I've been watching the TV commercials, like Papa John's doing the promos for Ghostbusters 2016, and you know, I think a few other commercials I've seen, but the thing is, I have to say, this kind of struck me as funny. The Progressive insurance commercial, you know, the one with Flo and that really geeky guy who I don't remember his name. The Progressive commercial did a better job at promoting Ghostbusters than the original Ghostbusters trailer did. Like, the Progressive commercial, I got a few laughs out of that. You know, it's just like, oh, well, maybe this should be a break room activity. You know, and I don't know, I laughed at that. You know, where the original trailer, I was just like, not really, but I didn't like it. Obviously, I gave you my thoughts on the original trailer, you know, a few videos ago, but the Progressive commercial just did a better job. Maybe Sony should have hired the writing staff of Progressive to do Ghostbusters 2016, and maybe the reaction of the initial trailer probably would have been better. Who's to say? And furthermore, I would like to say one more thing before closing this out. This whole controversy about misogynists hating Ghostbusters 2016, it has been a hot button issue here on the internet. Is there a percentage of people out there who are hating on this movie because it is an all-female cast? Well, probably. I'm sure that there are some real butthurt assholes out there which are like, oh, it's all women, and I'm sure they exist. I have not seen or encountered any of those people on the internet or in real life. The general consensus is that, now follow along very, very carefully, alright? Let's have a little private chat. Sony, okay, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, I don't know, but, hold on, let's have a little get together, okay? Alright, you and me, alright, you, me, internet, me, we'll just, you know, alright, follow along with me on this one. The main reason why a lot of people are not anticipating this Ghostbusters movie, it is because nobody wanted a reboot. Everyone wanted Ghostbusters 3, okay? Say it with me now. Say it with me now, slowly. Ghostbusters 3. That is what people have wanted to see for years. Alright? I don't know anybody who was looking for a Ghostbusters reboot. They wanted Ghostbusters 3. For like a decade, or maybe even more, maybe 15 years, Dan Aykroyd fought to get a part 3. I mean, so many times in interviews said, oh, Ghostbusters 3 has been greenlit. Ghostbusters 3 is going to be in production. Ghostbusters 3, Ghostbusters 3. Sony just ignored a lot of that, and they went with what they wanted to do, and Sony went against the fans' wishes. They went up against who would be their paying customers, alright? Come on, that's ridiculous. I think Sony is realizing that now with all of the internet outrage and the whole thing, the whole controversy about the misogyny is being ramped up to make it look like, see, this is why this movie is going to fail, because of the misogynists out there. No, they are trying to spin this into that direction, because if this movie fails, that is their scapegoat. And I think Sony and Paul Feig are painfully aware of this. You know, and with the whole misogyny issue, I personally don't give a crap if the Ghostbusters are all female. You know, as I said in my last video, maybe the original Ghostbusters are getting too old and they gave the company to the next generation of Ghostbusters and they all just happen to be female. Whatever. You know, a female Ghostbuster is, to me, just irrelevant. I don't care. You know, I mean, even in the real Ghostbusters animated series, Janine Melnitz wore a proton pack a couple of times in the series. So, like, it could totally, you know, I could see this being done without there being misogynist rage and everything like that. And even, my understanding is Ghostbusters 3 was going to have some female Ghostbusters in it anyway. but I can't verify that. This is just stuff I picked up on YouTube, so I don't know. He knows, Paul Feig, he is aware that he will probably get fired for directing what might be a lousy movie, and he is running scared, which is why he is trolling everyone and making a big fuss. You know, he is trying to cover his ass because he probably doesn't want to get fired. You know, I can promise you, alright, if this movie fails, I mean, it might succeed, who knows, if this movie fails in 5 years or 10 years, you are going to hear from the cast of Ghostbusters, the females and the director, saying, oh yeah, this movie was a mess from the start, I didn't want to do this production. You are going to hear that stuff in, 5 or 10 years down the line when they interview about Ghostbusters or something. Something's going to come up and they're just going to be like, yeah, I didn't want to do this movie anyway, or I signed up to do this movie and then it turned out to be a nightmare, and they're all going to just recant and just say, what a horrible experience it was. I can promise you that. If this movie is a failure, if this movie is a success, well, then it's a success. Time will tell. I mean, the movie's not even out yet, but we will see what happens. So, will I go to the movies and spend about $15 to see a movie which so far has failed to impress me? No. I'm just not. I'm sorry if I'm taking a James Rolfe stance to all this, but no, I'm not going to spend $15 to a movie which I'm just not amped about. And I'll end up seeing this movie eventually. That's just a matter of time. I'll wait till it comes out on Netflix. I'll just, it'll be on Netflix in 2 years, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it. Maybe I'll Redbox it. I would pay $1 to see this movie. I will pay $1. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it so far. I will spend $1 at the Redbox when this movie comes out in DVD. Hell, I bought Lost in Space for $1 on DVD. That was worth it. Look, I look at it this way. If I can survive Michael Bay's craptacular Transformers movies and still be a Transformers fan, I can survive this Ghostbusters 2016 movie and still love Ghostbusters. I can still love Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and the video games and the real Ghostbusters. I can still be a Ghostbusters fan and not support Ghostbusters 2016. I'm JimClassic, and I ain't afraid of no reboot.